In 2024, we witnessed a truly historic turning point in the fight for public health and accountability. The United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit ruled in favor of the Environmental Health Trust and Children's Health Defense, led by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., against the Federal Communications Commission. The case exposed what so many of us had feared for years, that the FCC had blatantly disregarded mounting scientific evidence showing harmful effects from radiofrequency radiation emitted by wireless devices and infrastructure. The court's ruling was clear. The FCC's decision to keep its outdated 1996 safety limits for wireless radiation was, in the court's words, arbitrary and capricious. These limits were established decades ago, before smartphones, before Wi-Fi, and long before the explosion of 5G. Yet the agency had refused to update them, even in the face of thousands of pages of research documenting health risks. What the court recognized was that the FCC had ignored compelling evidence, not only of cancer risks, but also of non-cancer effects, reproductive harm, DNA damage, heart problems, and the heightened vulnerability of children. The decision forced the FCC to go back and provide a reasoned explanation for its guidelines, or to update them entirely. This ruling also highlighted the tireless efforts of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. over his decades-long legal career. Kennedy has repeatedly taken on federal agencies, exposing what is known as regulatory capture, when the very agencies meant to protect the public instead serve corporate interests. His victory against the FCC stood as a powerful reminder that accountability is possible, even against the largest and most entrenched industries. At the same time, the case raised unsettling questions. While the FCC failed to act, the Department of Defense continued to study the health impacts of wireless radiation on military personnel. The European Union and countries like France had already taken precautionary measures, even recalling phones that emitted excessive radiation. And yet here in the United States, civilian agencies abandoned their duty. Adding to the controversy was the National Toxicology Program's sudden halt to its research on cell phone radiation, despite having already invested over $30 million into studies that found strong evidence of cancer, DNA damage, and heart issues. Their official excuse was that the research had become too challenging and resource-intensive. But for many, it looked like yet another case of politics and industry influence overshadowing public safety. The irony could not be missed. Billions spent on military projects, but no funding to protect everyday Americans from potential wireless risks. So what does this mean for us? First, it validated the decades of research, from the Interphone study to the Bioinitiative report, that showed cell phone radiation poses real dangers. Second, it gave hope that stricter safety standards might finally be established, protecting vulnerable populations like children. And third, it put the responsibility back on us, the public, to stay informed, demand safer technology, and advocate for stronger regulations. This was not just a legal win. It was a wake-up call, a reminder that we cannot blindly trust agencies to protect us, especially when powerful industries are involved. As we look forward here in 2025, the fight is far from over. We need renewed research, independent of industry influence. We need congressional oversight of the FCC's failures. And we need consumer awareness, people choosing safer practices like using speakerphone, keeping devices away from the body, and supporting wired connections whenever possible. The health of our children, our communities, and future generations depends on what we do next. I'm Tori Wilder, and this is What's Up Lake County. Stay informed, stay engaged, and never stop asking the hard questions.
Lake County, Florida, a place with deep roots, fast changes, and stories that don't always make the front page, but should.
Some of those stories are heartwarming, some are a little messy, and some you just gotta hear to believe.
From the sun-soaked shores of Lake Dora to the hidden hollers of Umatilla, this is What's Up Lake County.
I'm Jessie Brooks, and along with my co-host Ben Travers, we're diving into the stories that matter in Lake County, Florida. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
We're talking headlines, hometown heroes, and everything in between. If it happens in Lake County, it's happening here.
No spin, no fluff, just real stories about real people.
So hit subscribe and let's find out. What's up, Lake County?